Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I am Joey Calvo. Our podcast is part of the World Podcast Network now with over 1,100 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at https://worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise up on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. So today I am doing another podcast to update the guest list, the remaining guest list as of right now that are coming onto this podcast between the end of April and the end of May. We do not know if we're going to go past May 30th yet. I still feel the way I've been in reference to how I feel, and more revelations are coming up, and it's taken its toll on me, and it's gotten to me. But I figured I would update the guest list for you because we added 2 more guests. And we were supposed to do a podcast yesterday with M. Kyle Hollingsworth. That's been rescheduled to May 30th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So that is what was the original plan. But like I said, that has been rescheduled. So the updated guest list now, we have on Monday, April 29th, we have Andrea Pudding. She is. Who is she? Folks, I'm going by lip. I'm not going by. I don't have a script. I'm ad-libbing everything as I'm saying it to you. But we will have Andrea Pudding, and she, I believe. Like I said, I printed it up. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Well, Andrea Pudding will be on the podcast Monday, April 29th. Saturday, May 4th is a very special episode of the Life with Joey Calvo podcast because we will have Angelo Christian, who is a real estate mortgage / financial guide. And we're going to talk about real estate and financial loans and so on. That is at 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, May 4th. That is a special day because normally I don't do podcasts on Saturdays. May the 7th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have Mark Stephen Porro. He's an author who wrote a book called A Cup of Tea in the Commode. And we're going to talk about how that book came to be, what led to the book happening. And then, like I said, the rescheduled podcast on May 30th with M. Kyle Hollingsworth at 6:30. So that's what's going on right now. I did say that this podcast may end now on May 30th instead of May the 4th, May 5th. I still feel the same way. Not much has changed in reference to my personal feelings. In reference to everything else that's going on. I mean, I still feel the way I feel. It's just I'm looking at it at a different perspective. You know, what I found out about me wasn't the greatest thing to do, and realizing what was going on, wind up hurting people. Of course, I'm not happy about that. So that's why, as of right now, as of June 1st, this YouTube channel will stay. The anchor.fm/life with Joey Cavill will be there for everybody to listen to all the previous podcasts. I just will get off of all social media. No more Twitter, no more Instagram, no more Threads, no more Facebook. As sad as it says. But I feel that when that time comes, people won't be concerned about me. And I think people are happier and better pre-me, quote unquote. Had to have iced coffee, especially this late. But, over the past 5 years, I've done the best I can to really make this podcast go out. Well, it's kind of going out at the end. I mean, we're on the World Podcast Network, and we have been mentioned so many times already. There was another podcast that came out by Bruce Shamoff this morning, or yesterday morning, actually, about social networks and seeing if podcasts are really joining the right. Are we on the right social networks? And I am very proud that we're on the World Podcast Network. But unfortunately now, I can't tell you how many views we get because everything has changed now to where it has to become a subscription. Yes, don't get me wrong, folks. Don't get me wrong. If you have a podcast, join the World Podcast Network. Really do. Because you really do get noticed. You really do get noticed. I will not lie to you. I mean, I had Bruce on the podcast, and I mean, you heard everything he said about it. So if you think I'm really knocking the World Podcast Network down, I'm not. I'm just upset because they changed things around. That's it. I mean, it's something that I can manage. I mean, it's not the greatest. It's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm truly thankful to be on the World Podcast Network. Okay, I am, because before I found out you had to upgrade to find out how many views you had, we had almost 1,200 views, page views. So I mean, this podcast is getting recognized, and like I said, it's been recognized at least twice, and it's about to get recognized again on Monday. So, I mean, thank you, World Podcast Network, for the recognition. I truly thank you for that. Okay. I mean, the only thing I'm upset about is, the dashboard. That's it. But I mean, I understand now what I have to do for that to happen, to clarify that. So, I mean, that's, like I said, that's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Okay. In reference to my medical, I didn't want to bring it out, but just to, I've mentioned on this podcast also that I almost had a heart attack in March, where I was running for the bus and got on the bus going to work, and I had to gather myself together literally. I was like really heavy breathing, so on, so on, so on. So I did a follow-up yesterday with my primary doctor, which actually wasn't my primary doctor at the moment, but where I normally go. And that doctor was very happy with everything that was going on and to keep up the good work. And I was thankful for that. And so blood pressure is back to normal, except when I'm here. No, it's not the podcast that's causing it, folks. I'm joking. Please don't take that seriously. It's just other factors in my life that's causing my blood pressure to go through the roof sometimes. So we've updated the guest list. As of right now, this podcast will be going till June 1st. There is one guest we are working on. Actually, could be interesting. And that's the amazing Robin. So we're working on getting her on the podcast. She got to me yesterday after I reached out to her via a website that I use, one of the two websites I use to get guests on the podcast. And they got back to me yesterday, and they were very happy. They saw these podcasts and were interested. So we're just waiting to finalize that. You'll be amazed, like she is, the amazing Robin. And you might learn something from it. But in reference to this podcast, yes, it may be ending by June 1st as of right now. Again, who knows? Maybe God might have more doors opening for this podcast on June 1st. I mean, I had to take myself literally, and again, I'm going to stress this movie and the book only because it was a good book. It was a great movie. I may watch it again tomorrow just for the heck of it, to really look again at, where I'm standing at within myself. Of course, people are like, you need help. You're crying for help. Yeah, I cried for help, and I got constructive criticism for it. And so I now, and this is what I actually said to my personal Facebook. I said, if you bring up anything about mental health, or you start telling me what to do in my life that I can't do, you're done. And I will say the same thing. I'm saying the same thing to all my social media. If you are going to make a statement telling me what to do, you're done for. I will unfollow. I will block. And if I had to report, I'd report. But I won't get that far on the report part. I'm not that cruel. But I'm just tired of being told what to do. I'm supposed to live my life. Okay. Yes, God has me on a journey that's twisted right now. But he didn't twist it. I did. So I have to figure out what's going on. And to everybody it would sound mental. It's not. It's actually spiritual. And when I watched the movie The Shack the other day, I literally had to relook at my life. And hence the reason why I said this podcast could be ending on June 1st is because of everything that's going on in my life and what I have learned about who I am and what I've done. And to be brutally honest about it, after realizing what I've done, I wouldn't even be friends with me. Okay? I wouldn't. Right now, my trust level to everybody else is still high. You know? But if you ask me if I trust myself, nope. Will I ever trust myself? Maybe not. As of right now, maybe not. But it's not because of the people that care. It's because of me. And those people that care was the ones that were starting to tell me, this is what you got to do. This, you have to do this. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Gee, I thought I had a brain. You know, like I can think. So I tell people now, if you're going to tell me what to do, keep it to yourself. I don't want to hear it. Because if I hear it, you're done. If I hear that I need to go see a psychiatrist, again, I will say this. Goodbye, you're blocked. I don't want to hear it. Because I went to a psychiatrist. I took myself to a psychiatrist. Okay? And this is what the psychiatrist told me. This podcast is my therapy. Okay? I do see a therapist once a month. And I wanted it once a month. Therapist wants it once a week. No. I wanted it once a month because once a month, I can get everything out of my system. Once a week is like an update. And to me, it's a waste of time. Once a month, I can put everything together in 30 minutes and get it out. And I do email the therapist when there are some things that could be added to what will be talked about in the next session. So it's not like, you know, everything is really bottled up, but I do. I bottled it up, and more things are, like I said, more things are starting to come out that have been hidden for years. And I'm not going to bring it up here because it's not for this podcast to know. But I will say, if you ever get a chance, you got to read William Paul Young's The Shack or see the movie. It's touching, but it can also be a learning experience. And to me, it's a... Sorry, my eyes are really bothering me. But it's making me recollect myself and seeing what's going on with me and what I'm facing, and and it's more in the spiritualness that I'm really seeing than the mentalness, because sometimes and I apologize, folks. Like I said, in reference to this movie, you need to see it. It's called The Shack. It's very good. It's 2 hours and 12 minutes long, but it's worth it. Okay. So definitely watch the movie at least. I thank everybody for watching. And again, I apologize for my eyes. It's been bothering me all day. Thank you for watching and listening to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. My name is Joey Calvo. I will see you soon. Matter of fact, April 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Take care.